I'm not familiar with xLeGiT-Slades, but he does play your boy.
He does. Love seeing more Gerald, man.
Yeah, dude. Wait, that's not Gerald. That's Gerald.
I get that reference. It's funny.
Right? You know, if you don't get that reference, just go watch some Hey Arnold. Get to that episode, and you'll get it. You know, we could see right here we got Donnie versus Daryl. And I'm gonna keep doing that for this entire set. I'm gonna do that.
Terrible.
I'm not gonna do it after that. After this, but one thing to note here, I don't actually know either of these players. I'm not super familiar with them, but I will say I do know a lot about the characters. I mean, Gerald is a character that a lot of people have considered to be not good, a little too overly complicated. It's like a jack of all trades, but is a master at none of them, and not in the best way. But I don't know. I like Gerald a lot. I think he has some real cool stuff with his item wheel, as well as just having some really cool combos.
Yeah, it's interesting just like how the story has changed on Gerald, because I think like after the one patch, 1.3 I believe, and Plup winning Slimebox especially, those eyes have been like open to Gerald after saying he's bad. Some people still in that sort of denial, but I think he's definitely a very great character, very solid character, and definitely like seeing xLeGiT-Slades play. I think I've seen this name in Grinder Corps, but I don't think I've seen him play though. Hyper Crasher, he played Garfield in Nick 1, he was playing Donnie in this one. Seen him play sometimes a lot more of a neutral focused Donnie rather than Sparks, who's a lot more aggressive. I say that, just dive kicks it with the ball. Works out for him though, but gets still hit by that charge in there.
So xLeGiT-Slade was a PlayStation Nick Brawl 1 player.
That's
okay.
Probably why their name. Okay.
Yeah. One thing to note too, I mean, that was the thing. I remember when this game had just came out and people were saying, "Oh, Gerald sucks," and you were playing him, and that was actually the one time. Now you went on Tremerton crap, which I don't understand why you're still on that. But you know, I think you and I both agreed. We're like, no, dude, Gerald's actually kind of crazy. What are you talking about? Like, this character has the sauce. Like, look at him.
Now, just so much combo diversity too. I have not done that one too. That was pretty cool to see. But yeah, just so much combo diversity, what he can do. A lot of routes he has. Very versatile character in general. The match can be a little difficult though, because Donnie's range can definitely make it sort of difficult in the neutral. He has all these projectiles that kind of just get sort of like clanked against the sticks. So it can definitely be sort of uphill. I think Sparks thinks this matchup's like Donnie winning. I think it's like more even-ish. But still can be kind of difficult if you're not used to it. It seems like xLeGiT-Slade's struggling a little bit to get in.
One thing to note too is with ball. I mean, I know Gerald can have some difficulty dealing with that, as well as also just not having the best upward mobility with his recovery. I mean, his skateboard is great for recovering, but if you get caught off stage having to use the basketball, the slam dunk, if you will, especially if you're Donnie, you can call that out pretty easily, get a spike. Or even get like a forward air or even an air and just pop them up and be able to follow up with it. So I think xLeGiT-Slades has been doing a good job of mixing up his recoveries and trying to keep Donnie guessing as to what he's going to do next.
Definitely. One thing I also see in xLeGiT-Slades of the really like in their gameplay, just like they kind of mix up their movement a lot with the skateboard, sort of starting it and then stopping it very quickly, sort of making it hard, their approach harder to predict. Just like that, as you see right there, a lot of clean sort of skateboard movement, hyper crash either way on top of it, but side beats away and then back airs. I like the interesting stuff we're seeing in the skateboard.
Also, I just want off topic. I want to give a shout out to who they got to play Gerald. He sounds exactly like the voice actor, because I'm pretty sure they got an entirely different voice actor for Gerald, but he sounds almost on point.
It's like, to me, it's like, it's interesting because it sounds like a combination between like his old voice actor and his new voice actor from later seasons.
Yeah, like it sounds like a good combo, but it works. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Because like I didn't even realize it was a different voice actor until I looked it up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it just sounds familiar. I feel like.
And we can see right now we're kind of at a neutral standstill. I mean, Slades is trying to find this stock, is finally going to get it, but at a full stock deficit. And I can see what you were saying about Hypercrasher playing a more neutral game, not as aggressive, playing a lot slower than Sparks. but is able to find a lot more consistent damage. xLeGiT-Slades doesn't have a jump. Does make it back to stage though, but
Spike.
yeah, he tried to go for it, but just a little off the mark with it. The one thing too about this is that xLeGiT-Slades also, I mean, he does have two bars of meter, but he has to save it. He can't do any, like, he has to use it for there, and then now one big hit from Hypercrasher. That's it. That's gonna do it right there. Up to what you laughing at, buddy? What you laughing at?
Specifically on Navi, I seeing the down tilt to the up B. It's so funny because fucking Gerald has that goddamn hair hurt box above his up B hitbox. Just
wait, his hair is a hurt box?
Yes, his hair, like 75% of it, something like that, is a hurt box. So it's easier to down tilt him on the way up.
Oh my god, people have been calling Squidward Mewtwo. We need to call him Mewtwo, dude. Fucking Mewtwo in like Smash Ultimate, pardon my language. Mewtwo in Ultimate, his entire tail is a hitbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. Just specifically when recovering can be a little annoying, but good stuff to Hypercrasher. Catching onto that, using it to help him just get that ledge trap right there.
You know, and a good showing from Slades. I mean, he tried to play it slower, but I think in this matchup, I mean, just the entire time it felt like Hypercrasher had pretty solid control of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it was Slades playing Hypercrasher's game.
Yeah, exactly. And like Hypercrasher is like the most comfortable when he's sort of like making people play the slower game, because he's always one that can likes to sort of try to think one step ahead of people, you know, try to just bait out options, bait and punch, stuff like that. And you saw him start doing that very effectively as the game went on. Sort of this thing just went like the slower that Slades tried to play it, I feel like the more it went in Hypercrasher's favor.
I would agree, but we're gonna see what happens with game number 2, and if Slades is able to bounce back and recover, or if it's gonna be a repeat of last time where he gets so close and then loses. But we'll have to watch it play out. What are Gerald's best stages? Or excuse me, Gerald.
I think Rooftop is one of the better ones. I think he's kind of versatile. Yeah, this one's pretty good too. He has a lot of control over the middle center stage, especially with the basketball on this level. I personally like Technodrome for him as well, but again, I think he's like work on big variety stages. I only kind of dislike Jellyfish Fields with him personally.
I ain't gonna say anything about this stage because last time I did, where I'm like, oh, this is a good Squidward stage. The Connor J just got absolutely mutilated on one stock. Oh no! What just happened there? The momentum bug claims another victim. Slades going to lose that stock, but it's not really his fault, unfortunately. But you know, when you're in a competitive tournament and you're in Hypercrasher's position, you gotta take those.
Yeah, it hurts me every time I see it.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, what causes that bug? Do you know?
I forgot, honestly.
Well, regardless of what it is unfortunate. But you know, Slade's gonna keep his head together, keep his head on straight, and be able to find that stock before taking too much damage. But you know, as I say that, of course, commentator's curse is gonna take 88. But you know, I mean, good recovery regardless, because I mean, if for a lot of players that would have just been like, ooh, I think I'm done with this game.
Yeah, most definitely. Still staying solid, and this is interesting sort of dynamic we're seeing, that Slade's kind of struggling to sort of land, and Hypercrasher doing a good job of just sort of like sharking Slades, essentially, making it just hard to land.
You can see some really nice combos coming out from Slades, but combos aren't going to be enough to save you from the up tilt. Looks like he just barely dropped that combo, and unfortunately, he's going to pay the price for it. But as we're seeing right now, back in neutral, you know, Hypercrasher only sitting at 75%, has 3 bars of meter. Yeah, so it has a lot of wiggle room to not only extend some combos, but also to get out of any unfortunate situation he may find himself in. And Slades sitting at 2 bars. I don't know, if you're Slades, I feel like you almost, especially with how high of a percentage Hyper Crasher's at. You want to save the meter, but doesn't save the meter. Unfortunately, has to spend it just to survive right there.
Yeah, just consistently, man. I feel like they're consistently just struggling to land on this stage, and this Hyper Crasher is doing so much damage because that Hyper Crasher's combos aren't like the longest ever, but when you can keep someone disadvantaged for that long, the damage just keeps adding up until like take the KOs because of it.
I would say that Hyper Crasher has a lot of consistency, where, like you were mentioning, doesn't do a lot of damage, doesn't get the longest combos, but it doesn't have the most explosive combos either. But, you know, they are consistently getting like 20 damage here, 30 damage here, and they're usually walking out of it pretty clean. You know, they're coming away from it not taking really any damage, and if they are, it's usually like only like 20, maybe 10 to 15 damage at most.
Yeah,
and we're seeing that here. I mean, right now he's been at over 100 for a good while at this point.
Yeah, it's like, in
and
terms of play,
this
this Hyper Crasher, like, he just doesn't really take many risks, which can be sort of downside designs. Right now, definitely working out very much in his favor. Not really falling for any of these mix-ups, these shenanigans that Slade's trying to throw at him.
I'm kind of surprised he went for the slime cancel there. I felt like he was already dead, you know, it would have been nice if he had that meter right there. He would have been able to survive, but unfortunately, you know, Hyper Crasher going to take that in a 2-0 fashion. We're moving. We have game 3 to look forward to. I don't know, man. I feel like Hyper Crasher just has too big of a read on the Gerald. So I don't know if Slades has a character maybe in his back pocket, or maybe just needs to change up his game plan, but because whatever he's doing right now, it's not really working.
Oh yeah, kind of just struggling to sort of get in consistently. And we saw a couple sort of good combo starts from Slades, but kind of dropped a couple of them when they really needed to continue that. And definitely need to make those count in this sort of matchup here.
We're going to see how he makes it count. Are we going to get a 3-0, or are we going to get a comeback from Slades? We'll have to find out. Real quick, though, I have to just mention this right now because this is a really big upset. Revelo is out of the tournament.
Oh, wow.
He is going to fall to Hawk, which Hawk was the 13th seed, and he plays Plankton. So, you know, Revelo, when I last checked, was up 2-1. Looked like he had it in the bag. Not sure what happened, but that is a very big win for Hawk. Yeah. So, going to find his way into top 8 on the loser's side. So, great stuff to him. Gurfquake is also going to find his way into top 8 as well. Taking it over Lankin 2, I believe. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then Connor J and Tunist are fighting right now, 1-1 game. But we need to worry about the game that's in front of us. And it looks like Slades, unfortunately, lost his first stock really early. So did the momentum bug get him?
No. Just kind of got a ledge trap by Hyper Crasher right there. Hyper Crasher just having good control in this game, as we saw just the rest of the set.
Right. I'm kind of surprised. You did mention Gerald doesn't really like Jellyfish Field, so I'm curious why Slades would go here on this stage. Maybe he has more of a preference towards it.
Yeah, maybe. But I kind of just hate Jelly in general, so I mean, it could just be me.
Hey, you hate Jelly, but you like Tremerton?
Yeah.
All right, we got to settle this right now. What do you think makes Tremerton a good stage? I want to hear it. No, I want to hear it like genuinely. I'm not trying to be a butthead or anything. I'm curious.
Yeah. I think just having the consistent 30-second timer on every platform layout kind of makes it sort of play less chaotically, since they made that change than they did before. I think having a small stage like that in terms of size is very healthy for the stage list as well. I think people don't like it because people don't like adjusting how they play because of platform layouts and say it's Jake when it's consistent. But I wouldn't say it's Jake, it's more something they just don't like.
Okay, fair enough. So, I mean, I've never said thought the stage was janky. I just don't like the platform layout.
Yeah,
and how they change. And that's literally it. I think if we're talking jank, Harmonic used to be pretty janky with that divot with the slant. One thing that isn't jank though is Hyper Crasher's consistency here. Slades is I just had a total loss. I mean, you're down 2 stocks. On top of it, you can't use your meter anymore unless it's to save your own life, because you like. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do in this situation if you're Slades.
I don't know. I think just a lot of their attempts to get in just aren't working too well. I think they're really reliant on the skateboard trying to get in, which is not the best against Donnie, because again, no hitbox on the side B means you can just stuff it out. These sort of nairs, these up air, special stuff like that we've seen in general. And yeah, Hyper Crasher does take this set, convincing 3-0 fashion in a very much his way of playing things, very control heavy, very just sort of keeping control of center stage, keeping control of the neutral, all that kind of stuff.